Peace and prosperity to all living beings within range of my divine voice. Put the table over there too. I want to go over there. I feel the energy over there. We get a shot of the moon for y'all. I want y'all to see I'm like literally standing like right underneath the moon right now. I want to get a good shot of it. But I got stuff in my hands because we got things to do outside. We ain't just out here for fun. Hey Miko, peace and prosperity to you. I got a bunch of stuff in my hand. We ain't out here just to play. We ain't out here just to play. We got an activity. How's my sound, Miko? Let me know if you can hear me pretty good. My earpiece has been temporarily confiscated. So let me know that you can hear me okay. Let me know that you can see me okay. All that good stuff. Okay, thank you, Miko. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'm about to switch this camera. I want y'all to see the moon real quick. It's dark out here. It's dark out here. Loyal. It's dark out here. I can't even get the shot of the moon. It's dark out here. Like you can't even see what's around me. But I'm literally standing right underneath the moon. And as always, we gonna give love and respect first to nature. So I got my candle. I got my obsidian, which we keep the obsidian for protection, always. This here is what we call shootakite. Shootakite. And what shootakite does is it actually helps with addictions, which addictions are why we are up and out right now. And to the two ladies here who came in first, I have not forgotten y'all, by the way. I have not forgotten y'all. Don't you worry. In here, we have a beautiful bee that came in. Y'all might have seen the video for it. That bee stayed with us for quite some time. Piece of that mushroom that we also had. And a couple pieces of crystal with a dandelion. We're gonna bury that. And then we're gonna set the sage. And then I got one of my manifestation notebooks, one of my favorites right now. We're gonna write down our pages after we get everything together, and we're gonna set it on fire right here, because we do want to definitely be safe when we do that. When we set things on fire, we are not putting the forest at risk. All right, only you can prevent forest fires, and we definitely would not be putting our home area in danger in any way. Not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So as I gather materials, I just want to explain what it is and why it is that we're doing this. So, fire. A lot of people consider it the first element. It's the element of initiation. It's the element of taking charge. It's the element of burning a trail forward, right? That's what we think about when we think about something fiery, something passionate. And when we have things that we want to release in our lives, when we have traumas that we want to release in our lives, when we are going through and healing ourselves, when we're going through the process of what people call shadow work, right? Which shadow work means, it's not a negative thing. Shadow work is referencing to being able to go into our subconscious, into the darkness of our minds and the darkness of our past, and deal with things, to be in the reality of how we feel about things. All right? That's why a lot of people, when they talk about shadow work, they will reference to their childhood. Because a lot of the things that we deal with and adjust to as adults, a lot of course corrections we make as adults who are healing, is in reference to something that happened to us as a child. In most cases, it's not the same for everybody. I know for me it is in a lot of ways. Some of the things that you're going to see me write down in my notebook and set on fire are things that reference to childhood or built up since childhood. Things I know of, things I'm aware of, things I've worked through. But the fire to be able to see your thought, right? Think about manifestations. Think about dream boards, right? The reason why we have dream boards is so that we can continuously, constantly manifest, right? There's an action that we take, and then there's a thought that we have that we actually put into action, that we actually bring to life when we write down on a piece of paper, when we write down that dream board, and we are reinstituting that thought. We are constantly manifesting, working through that thought, that feeling when we write it down, and we have brought it out of our mind, out of the darkness, out of that subconscious area into the light. That's what it means for shadow work, right? The same way works for burning a note, because what I'm literally doing is I'm taking that feeling, I'm going to take those emotions tied to the words I'm writing down. I'm going to take those thoughts, those past memories associated to the things I went through, or the things I'm going through, or the things I'm learning from, and I'm going to set it on fire. And I'm going to release all of that pain, anguish, sorrow, whatever that comes with that feeling. I feel you on that. I feel you on that, brother. I'm happy to see that you okay, by the way. I'm happy to see you okay. I know that some people may look at the financials of the situation and want to assume things. You know, I've been I've been homeless before. I was homeless for a year and a half, almost 2 years. It was rough. And, it's a fortunate thing that you got somewhere to sleep. I'm happy you're okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy you're recording the process. Not just for YouTube's sake or anything like that, but so that you can be able to have a moment to go back and look at things and feel things from that experience. You can go back and look and feel those experiences again and remind yourself of your own growth as you expand. Okay? I gotta kind of get started. I'm already running late. But I just wanted to give that shout out to you, brother. I know it's a tough time, but you're gonna be all right. Peace and prosperity to you. All right, so we're gonna start by finding a spot to plant. I know where I want to go, and I gotta be honest. Like, I've gotten a lot of downloads about this whole entire process. Because realistically, I was advised that the way I was looking at certain aspects of this was wrong, because I'm just gonna go ahead as I'm getting ready for this process of, we're gonna literally like dig a spot here by one of our trees in order to again plant down this beautiful bee, because we want to give before we receive. So as I know the sound probably don't sound too good right now, because I'm actually slightly away from the phone as I am digging this spot, but we gotta do things the right way. We gotta give before we receive. Hey. We gotta give before we receive. Oop, that's a root. Let me come under the root. I don't want to tear up the root too bad. And it ain't gotta be super deep. It's gonna degrade and decay eventually. All right. So again, there we go. I'll be gentle. I don't want to break it. There we go. We give before we receive. Hey, little spider. You coming over to bless this for us? I appreciate it. Thank you so much, little spider. I appreciate you. I don't know if y'all can see that spider on Can y'all see it? Yeah, you can see it. Just walk right over to us. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Nature's confirmation. Spider is actually one of my spirit animals, so I love that. I'm just gonna take a piece of the sage. Light that baby right over it before we even get to our own stuff. And shout out to YouTube, because we can't set stuff on fire on the other app. We can't set stuff on fire on the other app, but this app we can. But this app we can set it on fire, baby. Get a little bit of that sage, that dandelion. Because again, we have respect for all life. And we want to give before we receive. We always want to give before we receive. The universe is going to match your energy. It's the law of resonance. It's not just what you're attracting, it's what you are. All right, we're going to switch the camera back real quick. Oh, I didn't know I could change the color. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, play with that later. All right, so we've given back now. So I'm actually only gonna do one note on the live because as I mentioned, I got some downloads that was deep for me in regards to this whole process. I've had to change my whole vision of how this worked because we allow ourselves to grow and expand. We don't just, we have to have course correction in life. You set your plans, you set your goals, and you go out to be successful. That's intentionally moving my energy. I am intentionally going to let go of things tonight with this process, and that's still intentionally being done. But the way I saw it in my mind when I set out, when I took off, when I left when my ship, me as the captain, when my ship left the harbor to venture out on this journey, I had a destination in my mind. Things happened that I had to course correct. That's a part of life, right? If you're a sailor and you're flying, and you're not about to say flying. Well, I prefer flying, so maybe that's what I'm thinking about that. But when you're a pilot and you set a destination, If you can't land at a specific destination because of weather problems, you course correct. You don't just say, oh no, I gotta land at that same spot. It's my favorite spot. If it's a tornado there, if it's weather there, whatever is going on, you gotta course correct. That's life. I didn't give up on my mission just because I course correct. I make adjustments viable to whatever the surroundings is. That's a part of life, is to course correct. So a part of my course correct is understanding that some of the things that I'm writing down on this piece of paper, some of the things that I'm focused on, I had to understand, this is deep for me, y'all, that some of the things that I quote unquote want to release, to let go of, I may be pursuing balance, right? The goal is to have balance, but I'm actually making some imbalanced acts in doing it. Some of the sacrifices I'm making is too much. Some of the things that I'm working on is a little bit too extreme. Meaning that, well, I'm gonna start with the one I'm about to write down now. I'm about to switch the camera around so y'all can see. And I'll just explain specifically with this one, because I think a lot of people deal with this issue, especially in American society. And I shouldn't even just say American society, it's all over the world, right? There's not many places in this world, in this universe, where sex does not sell. But specifically lust. All right? That's the one we're going to set on fire today specifically. There's a couple others that I'm going to write down too. But I just want to be able to talk about these, because the reason why I'm writing this down, right? Because I'm about to get deep, y'all. This is about to be some deep shit I'm about to say. And it might fuck some people up, but let me say this also. This is my story. It's not that yours may not be similar. It might not be that you're not going through similar things, all right? But for me specifically, my specific story, y'all see I wrote down the word sex, I wrote down the word lust. I will be celibate 2 years as of about 3-4 days from now. So in 3 days, it would have been officially 2 years since I've actually had sex. When I started that journey, my intentions were extreme, because I was coming out of a very passionate, crazy relationship with my karmic mirror. And I really just wanted to let go of her. She probably did. She that type. Peace and prosperity to you, Nova. I came out of a relationship with someone who I was just way too infatuated with. And being with her, I couldn't even think about being with other people. I wanted to, initially when I started that 2-year journey, I wanted to just be in a mindset. That's what's up, Miko. I wanted to just be in a mindset of being like, okay, let me not go fuck somebody else just to forget about her, because I'm still just giving her back that energy. Let me not just go fuck on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm with a whole nother woman and I'm thinking about her. I definitely didn't want to do that. I didn't want to cause more karmic issues. Like, dang, let me go, my heart broken, let me go break somebody else's heart. We hear about it all the time. Irresponsible actions as adults, we get to doing stuff like that. And we human, so I'm not judging, because I've done it before too. I just was trying to be better, so I'm like, man, let me just take a break. You know, and I'm going to keep it 100 for anybody in their lower frequency when they hear me talk about this. Good for you, Rodrigo. Anybody who is in that lower frequency when I talk about this, because I know it's going to incur those kind of lower frequency thoughts. You know, I'm just going to keep it 100. I'm 6 foot. I'm a very handsome black man. I ain't got no problem in dating or doing whatever. This is voluntary decisions. Hey, Baez, thank you so much for being here. These are voluntary decisions because I have a consciousness about my soul more than just the body. I know that this flesh is only a piece of the experience. But moving forward, I want to catch a shot of this moon through these trees eventually. Moving forward, that's the reason why that's one of the reasons why I went to 2 years. The other half of it was I just realized, like, in my personal journey, right? In my personal journey, when I was in relationships, I was given too much of the relationship and taken away from myself. That I didn't have a balance. I wanted to be all in the in love feeling, or as people say, you know, the English language is so broken. I wanted to be in the in love feeling, and I wanted to have all these different things. But I realistically also was lacking self-control. And when I burn this letter, we're not burning away sex. We're not burning away lust forever. We're going to have lust. We're supposed to have sex. That's why we have those organs in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is. But I need an understanding of self-discipline and control attached to that. And nothing to be apologizing for, Bez. I appreciate you being here. I need the discipline and self-control attached to that, to where when I am involved in whatever the next relationship or whatever the next thing I decide to do, right? Whether I get married again, whatever, I need to be able to not have lost control, to not lose my journey, to not be distracted to the point that I let the flesh control me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And so when we set this note on fire right now, we're setting on fire losing control to lust, losing control to temptation, right? One of my spiritual teachers, we love you, Lisette, thank you for this one. She gave me a hell of a reference very recently. One hell of a reference that I'm going to refer y'all to right now, right? And what she said is that when we are, you know, when we think about people who battle in alcoholism, people who are, you know, going to therapy for different drug abuse and things of that nature, if you're an alcoholic, you can't expect to just go the rest of your life without ever seeing, smelling, or being around alcohol again. No matter what country you go to, no matter where you are in the world, you're going to see it, you're going to deal with it in one way or another, right? You're going to see it or you're going to deal with it in one way or another, right? That's just the reality of it all. So what happens is that you gain discipline and control. You don't just say, oh, I'll never see liquor again. Oh, I'll never see adult beverages again. You may never drink them again, but you got to have the self-control to where if you go to the grocery store and you are walking down an aisle that just so happens to have some adult beverages in it, you ain't set off from it. You're not just immediately going to fall back down and not get up, right? That's discipline, that's control. We want to make sure that when we go into whatever our next steps in life, that we're not letting this have any more control than what it needs to. We're not going to allow ourselves to let the flesh completely control us. We're releasing the lack of discipline, and we recognize how a lot of our childhood, a lot of the understanding about how these things work correlates with some of this. We release that. We release that. We release the lack of understanding that we had as children. We release the lack of accountability, we give thanks and we let it go. I wanted to let the sage catch it on fire, but it's black sage and it ain't catching it on fire the way I want it to. We're gonna use the candle. I know y'all want to see the fire. Now see, this is why you gotta have a big lighter. Cause big lighters don't do all this extra. Peace and prosperity to everyone coming in. Oh, this might be spirit talking to me, the fact that this lighter all of a sudden just stopped working. What am I missing? What am I not connecting to? Is it something I ain't say? Oh, my mantras. Okay. All right, so while we release this aspect of the flesh, we still appreciate it. It's not that we didn't enjoy those good times or those bad times. It's not that we didn't enjoy those moments of the past with others. Right or wrong, we learned something, we gained something, not just in the flesh, but in the spirit also. When we release that fleshly attachment of it, when we release, we want to make sure that we continue to gain the appreciation and gain control of ourselves, gain control of our outlook. We don't need to look at things the way the world looks at it. We need to look at things the way we want to look at it. We want to use our own discernment and find our own path. I trust the universe is guiding my body and soul in a positive way. I trust the universe is guiding my body and soul in a positive way. I trust that the universe is guiding my body and soul in a positive way. I deserve balance in my life in every way. I deserve balance in my life in every way. I deserve balance in my life in every way. My mind, body, and soul are aligned to my highest good. My mind, body, and soul are aligned to my highest good. My mind, body, and soul are aligned to my highest good. All right. Yeah. See, that's the reason why it wasn't light before, because I had to do my mantras. See, when you are connecting yourself to spirit, spirit will give you guidance if you're able to listen. Sometimes we gotta stop and wonder and ask ourselves, like, well, why isn't this not working? Why is this not going the way I planned it to? It's because you gotta course correct. It's gotta make an adjustment. We did a course correction right now in this adjustment, and we're thankful. We're thankful we were able to hear God talk to us for our highest good, so that we can be better. It ain't just for the presentation. We are constantly pursuing being better in our lives. We are constantly pursuing ways of improving upon ourselves, for our collective, for our children, for life in general. Because life deserves the best of us, and we deserve to experience that. We all deserve to experience that. We all deserve to tap into our higher selves. I really wanted to catch this shot of the moon right in between the trees, Good. There she go. Like I said, I'm standing right underneath her. Before I go, I just want people to understand, when you see yourself set the note on fire, when you see and feel the heat of the flame lighten what you wrote on that piece of paper, there is a connection that only happens when that action is taking place. When you see the fire actually light the note on fire, when you see the fire actually take the words, the feelings, emotions that we attach to that page, you see the fire engulf it, that same thing happens inside of you. That same fear and worry or concern, whatever it is you're fighting through, in our case, we're working through discipline. We're working through discipline. We're looking for balance in our lives, right? And it's not balance. It's not, like in my specific case, it's not balance that I would go years voluntarily without, quote unquote, having fun, as some people would say, right? Just because of a previous relationship, just because of previous things, just because of a past version of me, just because I'm worried about my old self that would have taken a situation or a moment and ran out of control with it. My new self won't do that. My new self won't do that. And so it's imbalance of me to think like the old self and my new self and my new body and my new elevated mode. But I'm not going to discover or understand where I am if I'm not in the game. If I'm avoiding it, that's not balance either. I have to stand in that reality. I have to embrace the good and the bad and find peace in both. But the fire, watching the fire actually burn the note, it allows for the mind and body to see that whole thought that I wrote down on that piece of paper disappear engulfed by an element. And then you feel that same element in your body do the same inside of your mind and your spirit and your heart. That's the whole purpose of this. As always, the Grounding Daily Show is about me being transparent and being a vessel of love, because I'm here to help. And my way of helping is by living by example. My way of connecting us is by reminding us that we're all a part of the same part of this journey. We're all standing underneath this moon right now. So even though you may not burn a note tonight, I hope to inspire you to release. I hope to inspire you to let go. I hope I inspire you to live without fear. I hope I inspire you to pursue balance. And if I do that, then I did my job. If I can remind you to come outside and ground too, get your feet barefoot on the ground like the way I do now, come out and touch the trees, come out in nature, reset yourself, use the God-made energy to reset yourself, not the man-made, then I also did my job too. I'll be back on later. I do gotta roll. I'm about to go grab my stuff. And I'll probably make some content explaining this process more. For those who came through, I know it's late. No judgment to anybody who didn't. Y'all all catch the replay. But for those who came through, I hope you feel and understand. And I hope you can take this moment and attach it to something you need to release and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Whatever you're thinking about right now, when I say let it go, let it go. Let that shit go. Don't worry about what other people are going to say. Don't worry about what other people are going to think. Whatever you're feeling right now, if you felt any inspiration from seeing that note set on fire and you thought about something that you wanted to burn away, burn that shit away. Set it, let it go. Responsibly, obviously. You know. I love y'all. I'll definitely be back on later. Peace and prosperity to everyone.